So to start with, it's just a little review for problems that are on the first 20 tomorrow. What does this first 20 have to do with your final? Well, things like this are on the final, and they're also on the first 20. So it seemed like a logical time to get one last first 20 in. Your score on this is going to help me decide if I'm going to recommend that you go to pre-calc or not. I'm not saying it's all based on this one test, but would you agree? If you're trying to go into the harder math class, you should have one of the better scores on basic algebra. And that's what this is. This is basic algebra. So I just trying to say try on this test tomorrow. So that first one goes and gives you 4x squared. A lot of people think it's 2x squared. Nope, it's 4x squared. And then this times this gives you negative 6x, and this times this gives you another negative 6x, and together that makes negative 12x. And then the last thing I got to do is negative 3 times negative 3 makes positive 9. So final answer, 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. Be honest, how many of you had that exactly right? All right. That's the kind of thing you got to know how to do that. All right, here's another thing you got to know how to do. 3x squared over 12xy. Some things cancel, some things reduce. You get a fraction at the end. See if you can figure out what you should have for this kind of a question. Pause while you give that a shot. Okay, so there is a divide by there, right? But remember my favorite saying is if you can factor it, you should. The 3 can't be factored. I mean, other than 1 times 3. But the 12 can be factored into 4 times 3 or 3 times 4. And look at how nice that drops out, and the answer is 1/4. Notice, a lot of people are like, oh, a 12 and a 3, the answer is 4. Well, it's actually 1 on the top and 4 on the bottom. So I think my way of factoring it is the best way. All right, next up, you got an x squared. I think you should factor it into x times x, because that's what factoring means, is breaking it up into a multiply problem. And then you just got 1x on the bottom, and yay, look at that, it cancels. And then there's a y on the bottom, but there's only one y on the bottom. Well, then it stays on the bottom. There's nothing to cancel it. So let's see what's left. What's left on the top? A 1 and an x. So I could just call that x over 4 and a y, 4y. Be honest. How many have had that exactly right? All right. That's not that many people. All right. Any questions on that? All right. I see that headphone. You can take it out if you're hearing me and you have a headphone in. All right, on to the next problem. I'm going to just do this from memory. A lot of people got this one wrong yesterday, and I'm just going to see if you can get it right today. Multiply that all the way out. It's just an order of operations problem. People get confused on what to do first. That's one of the problems on there. Christian, do I start with the 3 times the 4? Nope, I do not. I go on to the inside and I look and see what in here is first. And this parenthesis is first, but there's nothing I can really do. So then you move to the thing multiplying into the parenthesis. That's where you guys should have started. So if you haven't already, go do that. That cell phone can just go right in your backpack. It'll be super easy. Oh, it's a calculator. Oh, if it's a calculator, that can stay on your desk. All right. So this 4 and this 6 together make 10. So then I still haven't done the outside 3 yet because I'm still dealing with the inside. That's the smart way to do it. Get all the inside stuff done. Now there's only one thing left. Distributing that. You should add negative 6x plus 30. Or you could put the 30 first and say 30 minus 6x. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Okay, we're getting better. Now how about this one? Factor out the GCF here. Now, you look through at the numbers. Do they all have a certain number in them? Is 2 a common factor? Yeah, so then 2 could come out, but not just a 2. You look and see, is there anything else that's in common on all of them? There's something in all of them. Hold that down a second because I'm recording. I hope you can all see that there's a 2 and an x. So everybody get that factored out and let's see what you get. I'll pause for a second while you do that. All right, so did you see that they both had a 2x in it? Well, actually all 3 parts had a 2x in it. That last one feels weird because the only thing there is a 2x. So for that last one, you're just going to have a 1 here to hold the place. And this, I can't put a 2x here or I'd end up with 4x squared. So don't put a 2x there. What goes in the front part of the parenthesis? Say it if you know it. X is correct. Okay? Because 2x times x would make our 2x squared. And last but not least, what needs to go in the middle? 2n. Excellent. And that would make, that times that makes our 4xn. Cool. I think that will probably be one of the hardest ones. I doubt many people had it right without my help.
I did.
Who had it right? Okay, that's about half of you. Okay, and then the last melon, hardest one for sure, because you got to remember a big honking formula. Pass on my desk, please. And it goes like this. X squared minus 3x equals 1. First thing people are like, I don't even know what to do to start. You want to set it equal to 0. Amir, what do I do to both sides to get it equal to 0? Hint, if that side, oh, there we go. And now I have x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals 0. Then you go into factoring mode, but the sad thing is this one won't factor, so that can't be it. So I'd be impressed if anybody can pull off this formula without me saying anything. Can you just tell me the formula? All right, x equals negative b. Plus or minus. Square root. B squared.
Plus 4.
Oh, so close. Minus 4ac. All over 2a. I guess I never noticed this before, but it'd be a way to remember it. There's no plus sign in the whole thing. There's a plus minus sign, but that's different. There's only some negatives here and there. Okay, so that. Seriously, I have to memorize that? If you want this problem right, you do. Do you have to have this problem right to be a good human? No. My mom never learned this. She never understood the quadratic formula, and she was one of the best people ever lived. She was amazing. Everybody loved my mom. And she was not good at math. So this is not about being a good person. But hey, if you want to be good at math, yeah, that's one of the formulas you ought to memorize. It comes up anytime you have a quadratic that doesn't factor. Okay, so negative b would be negative of b, which is negative 3 in this case. I'm getting it from right there. So b is negative 3. I'm putting it in there also. And then a is 1. There's no number there, but I know that means there's a 1 there. And then c is also negative 1. And I put that in. And there, I put in all my numbers. So I know you could do that part, just sticking numbers in a formula. That's easy. And then I know you could do this part, simplifying it down. Negative 3 squared is 9 minus 4. What's 9 minus 4? It's 5. All over 2 times 1 is 2. And there's your answer. I know it looks complicated, but that's the answer. And that's what I want you to write, and you'll be done. 3 plus and minus the square root of 5 all over 2. I know it's complicated, but hey, you're in honors or algebra. Question?
Wouldn't it be plus 4 because it's minus 4 times 1 times
Oh, is there two? Oh, there's 2 negatives in there. Thank you. Okay, so then it's actually 9 plus 4, and 9 plus 4 is 13. Who actually,
Same for
what?
like the 3 on the outside? Is it for -3? B is -3.
Okay, hold on one second, one thing at a time. So we have, this one came out to positive 9, and this came out to positive 4, and 9 and 4 make 13. There. Now, this is a very important part. When you replace the B, you only replace the B with -3. So there's a negative and then there's another negative. So I did that one right. It's +3. So +3 at the end because there was a negative here already in the first place, and you replace just the B. You don't replace negative B. You replace just the B with another -3. So you end up with -3. So that part was right. But thank you for catching the square root part. 3 plus or minus the square root of 13 all over 2. That is the hardest question on the first 20. And all it is memorizing a big formula and sticking the numbers in. So let's see if you can finish. I'll just try it one more time. X equals negative, what?
B.
B. See if you personally can fill in this plus or minus the
Square root.
square root of, say it if you know it, b squared, and then minus what? 4ac all over 2a. And you can do that. It's not that hard. So get the equation equal to 0 first. And then these are the a's, b's, and c's. Okay? Yes. We're almost done here, so in a minute, yes, you'll be the next one that goes. All right, so I want to do some stuff that's more directly off your packet. But I'm telling you, every one of those things is something that could be on the final. All right? So now let's grab your packet. So get out of the document you're in right now and get into the packet. Like that pulled up on your screen. And then I'm going to ask you to all turn to problem 6. Actually 7. Let's go 7. Would you read me number 7, please?
Factor the following.
Ooh, factoring, my favorite thing. 2x.
2x squared plus x minus 3.
All right. My first step is always put 2 parentheses. Everybody do that. Rena, I always do this in 3 steps. The first step is what has to go here and here.
2x and x.
Yes. 2x and x. Why? Because that's what you multiply to get 2x squared. Then, Aurelia, my next step is what goes here and here. There's 2 signs that go in those 2 spots.
Plus and minus,
How do you know that?
well, to equal -3.
To make this equal -3, these 2 numbers here need to have a positive and negative. I like it. And then, why don't you just tell me the 2 numbers, Aurelia?
It would be.
Don't worry about which one's which. Just what are the 2 numbers?
3
3 and
and 1.
1. So then I don't know which one goes where, but I'll just try this. I'll stick a 3 and a 1, and you always have to check it anyway. Here's the key ones to check. The outside and the inside is the big secret to factoring. The outside ones make -2x. The inside one makes 3x. When I put them together, this and this, do they actually make positive x? 3x minus 2x, does that make positive x? It does. So that means it worked. If I had reversed these 2 numbers, it wouldn't have worked. And I would have known because I wouldn't have gotten the middle one. So it's always about checking the outside and the inside. All right, I can only pick one favorite thing. Factoring is it. Number 7, for example, one of the most important skills. It's on the final multiple times. Like if you can't factor, you're going to get lots of problems wrong just because of that. So today, come up and ask me about factoring if you don't get factoring. All right, look past number 7, number 8, 9, 10, 11, etc. Are there any ones in there that scare you a little bit that you want to talk about? Basically, just want to review all the topics by looking through the packet and having you go, I don't remember that stuff at all. Can you show us number 7, Mr. Server, etc.? So, what do you think? 8, 9, 10, 11, any of those you want to ask about?
10.
Okay, read me number 10.
Looking at the graph below, it tells us an odd or even degree.
All right, I can show you odd and even really easy. That one's odd. You know how I know so fast?
Because it's facing different directions.
Yeah, the ends are going different directions. If they're going different directions, the thing is odd. Here's another one that's like that. Are the ends facing different directions? No.
It's even.
So this one must be even. Okay, so that's how you tell if something's even or odd. Are the ends going the same direction or different? So this could not be x to the 5th plus 5x squared plus 6x plus 2 or whatever, because both ends are up, and that's an even one, and that is not even. So if the biggest power here, which is called a degree, that tells you whether the ends are going different directions or same direction. Good question about number 10. Take a look at some of the other ones. 11, 12, 13. Anyone more what you want think we should cover? Like, please remind us about number 14 or whatever. Yes, sir.
How do you know if the leading coefficient is positive?
All right. You know how this end right here is going up? If the right end is going up, that means this would have to be positive. The number in front, that tells you the right end. So this one's going up, so it'd have to be positive. If I had one that was going down, kind of like that, if this end is going down, your lead term has to be negative. Okay, so it's all about this number here. If that number's negative, it's going down on the right. If this number's positive, it's going up on the right. Yes,
Number 16.
read it.
How does the function below transform from its parent function?
All right. So let's say we had y equals x squared, and here's a fancier version. 2x squared minus 5. You have to know things like, you remember the stuff that's on the outside is vertical stuff? High vo, remember that? And stuff on the inside of the function, like let's say I made an inside here and I had it go like minus 1. Stuff on the inside is horizontal on the inside. So look for the inside and the outside of your function. If it's on the inside, it's a horizontal thing. If it's on the outside, it's a vertical thing. Now this is really easy. Vertical, -5, that means down 5. This one on the inside always confuses people because it seems like it's -1. Seems like it should be going to the left. Never trust the inside. It's actually going to the right. Okay, so this one's going right 1. And the last one I'm going to talk about is this 2 here. That's called a vertical because it's on the outside, right? Vo. Vertical stretch. What if it was actually like a 1/2? Then it would have been a shrink. Yes?
So what if one of the exponents was like x plus 5?
All right.
X is in.
So if I just had 2x minus 5 or whatever, okay? So one of the exponents. Here's my parent function. It would be like this, 2 to the x. That's just the parent function. So the only difference is right there. So you have to ask yourself, is that on the inside or not? And here's how I decide. Inside is by the x. Feels like that is by the x. Therefore, that is inside. So that's on the inside, and that's horizontal on the inside then. So that's a horizontal move. And you never trust the inside. So negatives feel like they should make you move to the left. So it's actually to the right. So this one would be right 5. Okay? So if it's in the exponent like that, it's by the x, therefore it's inside. Those are all very good questions. Any other ones in the packet that are bothering you at this point? You don't have to go through the whole packet. Just, what are we up to like now, number? What's the last number I said? I just forgot. I'm sorry. I'm sick. 16? 15? 12?
Oh, 17.
17-ish? All right. Look at number 17. Any questions on that one? Take a second. Christian, would you read me number 17?
If an exponential situation has the starting value of 12 and grows at 15%, write an exponential equation that represents this situation.
All right, I'm going to make one that's not your answer because I want you to do yours. Let's say that there are 8,000 bison in a national park. This would mean that the bison population is started with that. That's how you do starting value. You put it in front. And that is your rate. That, if it's negative, it's decay. If it's plus, it's growth. And that is your time. So if I wanted to know, like, 3 years later, how many bison do we have? You put the 3 there. That's where the rate goes. If it's minus, it's decay. Plus is growth. That's your start value in the front. So you use the numbers they gave you and stick them in the right spots. That's exponential. All right. That's all I feel up to at this point. And you have a bunch of time to work now. So please work on your own. You can always walk up and ask me questions. I'll be happy to help you. And then tomorrow, don't forget the first 20. That test is tomorrow. It is only literally 20 questions. If you want to practice it, you can find one at algebraninja.com.